Hello guys, welcome to our introduction into athletic development across the lifespan. Again, it's a semester 2 subject in Bachelor of Coaching, Sports Business, and a whole heap of other things. Now with the online guys, simply I'm Trevor Higgins. I know there's a few familiar names on the list, so that we've gone through this thing before. So simply put, I'm just going to provide you a little bit of an overview of what we are hoping to cover in this semester. Now today's introduction. Now to put it to you simply, you've got about 4 assessments to do. 2 of them are quite time consuming, and the middle 2 are quite simple in that you are just going to deliver and or design a training program, and then you are going to have to video yourselves delivering a training program. The training program only has to be about 20 minutes. Each week I will put up a short webinar like this, and it will be made available on Study Smart page, and from there you'll be able to access, and will be a bit of brief content material that we'll be discussing. Now I'll just quickly go through to you. The first thing I'm going to do, again, I'll just reacquaint you with Study Smart, and in particular the skin for this subject. I'm going to try to do this. If it doesn't work, well, you won't know, because I'll delete this and I'll send you another link to another one, so it looks like I'm a genius. But generally, introduction, no, that's not it. Yeah, no, I don't want that. Okay, why isn't that doing it? I need this one, and I need that. Let's see if that's helping now, if I can screen share. Here we go. So as you can see on my screen now, I am certainly hoping, is you should be able to see, or at least view, our subject or our student Study Smart page. If you go into your athletic development through the lifespan, we've got getting started, assessments, a bit of a bio about me, and week 1. All right, now simply put, we'll put up here to getting started, and I'll just show you a few things. Click on there. This is where you're going to find a lot of your information: subject outline, study guide, reflective journal, introduce, unit text, link to online access. These first 3 or 4, and 5, disregard those really. I'm not supposed to tell you to disregard them, but students never use them, so I might as well tell you not to do it. Text link to online access. This will actually take you through to the textbook that we've got assigned to this subject, so you should be able to access it online from anywhere. So Rachel, on those downtimes between games in Rio, you can have a look, and feel free to read that. They've told me that to let you know, a gold gets you an HD, a silver gets you a D, a bronze gets you a pass. Bronze with MVP gets you your credit. If you don't get a medal, fail the subject. Just joking, Rachel. Not really. We'll see. Unit link, text links. Now, this APA referencing video, synthesizing, these are 4 videos or webinars that have been put together by our Student Learning Services, or the Academic Development Office as it was previously called, to help you with setting out your assessment tasks. APA referencing, synthesizing your writing, in other words, how to actually paraphrase and incorporate points of view from journals, especially if you've got 2 or 3 papers discussing the same topic, how to actually write it and present it in an academic format. This one here is contrasting articles, so often you'll always find 1 or 2 bits of information that will conflict. They say this is good, they say this is bad. How to actually approach that and write it properly. And then framing your opinion. Now, most of the time you would have been told, I don't care what your opinion is when you were writing an essay. What we want you to do is, when you analyse this concept, you need to be able to come up with an opinion, but provide evidence to support your opinion. So that'll show you how to draw on or write down your opinion based on what you've read in the articles. So that's how we provide an evidence-based opinion. I'm going to smash everyone with your first assessment, so literature review. Access these videos every day. because I can assure you, if you don't, you'll fail your lit review. I'm going to be a bit of a hard ass about it. I'm now going to, I expect my students to now start delivering a better quality of academic writing. I know my confidence is that you can all deliver. So I'm letting you know up front, if you don't deliver, bang, we'll talk about this subject next semester when you do it again. Now we're going to get on to the real part. As you go down here, the next picture is not that hard, trust me. Do a good job, you'll be fine. But we go into our assessments. Now, basically, you have 4 assessment tasks for this unit. You're going to need an assessment cover sheet. Then we have your actual literature one, and you turn it in. Has to be submitted via Turnitin with a less than 15% match. You can submit, resubmit right up until the due date. Once it gets to the due date, what you submitted is fine. If it's over 15%, then you have issues with plagiarism. All right, so have a look, get the report, and then deal. But if you follow paraphrasing and all the rest, you should be okay. Assessment 2 is the training plan. Now, this training plan is going to be based on the category that you've done your literature review. It can be any sport you want, but if you do training to train, then the assessment plan has to be linked with the information that you've identified in your literature review on training to train. Same as if it's on fundamentals. Now, your third is your practical session. Now, for our face-to-face students, it's easy for them. They do it with the class. You guys will have to do it on your own. You need to video it. Only 20 minutes. That's all you really need to do about it. Now, with that, if you were, say you're doing the fundamental, which is, your 5 to 7-year-olds, you don't necessarily need to have 5 to 7-year-olds. If you've got your teammates, you can then use your adult teammates to be your participants in it and video them in what you're teaching them for the fundamental. Just to tell me, it is an accessible criteria and not to be too crazy, to assist you in your learning outcome. Okay, so you don't necessarily have to have access to that age bracket, just as long as you've got access to a number of people who will act for you on that. The same as if you do train to train and you're using doing an elite level development and you don't have access to support your training, and you can bring over and then train people who aren't necessarily elite. I'll take that into an account when the skill factors sort of fall apart. Okay, so just think of it that way, okay? We'll have a look at the first thing, the assessment task, then assessment task number 4. It's another essay. This time you are going to be comparing 2 of the stages in your essay. And it'll be like a compare, contrast. At this stage, they'll be looking to develop this to this to this in comparison to this stage, where they will be more structured along those lines. And again, those 2 are your big parties. These 2, assessments 2 and 3, are quite simple. All right, let's have a look at assessment task number 1. It's a 1,500-word lit review. It's due week 4th. That should supposedly be up with the date. You guys can work it out. Week 4 of semester. I'll update that for you later. You are required to review 1 stage of the long-term athletic development model in relation to the nature and stages of development. Now, as I said, we discussed 6 or 7 of them, fundamentals up to train to retain or active for life. You just have to pick one of those areas, and then you have to do a lit review on it. You should be inclusive of multiple factors, class-related, in athlete approach and coach development, and looking at a holistic perspective. So how you incorporate both fundamental skills, but also how you incorporate the greater sense of development of the human rather than just the athlete. Consist of peer-reviewed articles. Guys, bang, don't give me blogs, don't give me opinions. If it's not peer-reviewed, don't even put it in. Okay, simple as that. If it's peer-reviewed, I'm putting a red pen through it, and that's it. Evidence-based only, peer-reviewed articles. Should demonstrate strong academic capacity, including the synthesized writing. As again, how to paraphrase but incorporate writing from other journals into yours. to identify the strengths and weaknesses associated with their specific stage of LTAD. Now, it's quite all right for you to use articles that say go against this. You don't necessarily have to find a number of articles to support it. I'm more than happy for you to write how you disagree with it based on these 10 articles. And although there's a strong push, these ones have demonstrated that that's not the case. Okay, so guys, it's open for you to look. You don't have to focus on a particular sport, just something about the particular stage you choose. Here's a basic marking criteria. You do a really good job, you get your HD. You do a pretty good job, you get a D. You show a reasonable job, then you get a credit. If you do the bare minimum, you get a pass. And, you know, if you turn in rubbish, you're going to get a fail. That's paraphrasing. Now, here's what I really think you guys need to understand. Poor identification of evidence, poor explanation, no supporting evidence. So if you don't use peer-reviewed articles, you will not pass. Doesn't matter how well you write. If it's not peer-reviewed, it's not evidence-based, if it's not synthesized in your writing, you will not pass. So if you incorporate that, you should be okay. But here's what you need to obtain pass. You must meet all of the below. So if you don't tick all these off, you don't pass. Simple as that, guys. It's minimal supporting evidence. So if you're using 6 peer-reviewed articles to get your message across, then hey, you know what? If you've only used 4, you're probably going to be struggling to get a pass. If you use 6, then hey, you're all right. That's ticked off. You identify the evidence of the topic. Quite simple. Yes, I'm doing train to win. At this stage, I need to be focusing purely on the high-level elite professional sporting body as opposed to learning to train. They're just going from the basic fundamentals to learning to skill acquisition for a sport at the basic level. Organised structure, introduction, body, paragraphs. Oh my God, please use sentences. I beg you to use a sentence. And again, credit all of the above. All of the above? No, all of the below. Again, see, and it details. If you don't meet all of the below, you cannot get a distinction. And that's ticked for each one. And understand it's to my satisfaction, not to your satisfaction. A lot of people think hard work means a mark. No, it doesn't. Doing good work gets you the mark. High distinction, all of the above. All of the below again, sorry. So that's our LTAD stages and our assessment number 1, 1,500 words. The assessment task is the training plan. Have a look at those in your own time. Assessment task 4. Again, it's going to be similar. This one's a 2,000 word. It's worth 40%. So the 2 essays are worth 70% of your overall assessment value. Okay, due week 12, the last Sunday of the semester. There is no exams. I don't believe in exams. I don't want you to remember stuff. I want you to understand it. Again, you're going to differentiate and discuss the various stages of the physiological and biomechanical, psychological concepts of 2 stages. The difference between what is focused for each of the 2 stages. So you sit there at this stage at training to win, full-time professional that's focused or sport-specific training. The training, you look at the difference between the maturations. The idea is your Olympic athletes are training to win. Those who are probably not at international level but are on the cusp making international level, or full-time professional on that cusp again, they're training to train to actually get to that next level and looking at the different points between the 2. Okay, guys? Again, it's an essay. Fail. Again, it's identical to what it was previously. As you're doing 2, you're going to be expected that you need to have 11 reviewed articles. If it's less than 11, you're going to struggle. Less than 14, less than 16, the bottom one, you've got more than 20 articles if you want an HD. That's how much you're going to have to do. Okay, finding the articles, start that straight away. Again, it seems like a lot, guys. It's only going to be a lot if you wait until the last day to do it. If you get it up, knock it over as quick as you can, then you'll actually find it's quite easy or manageable. So I won't say easy, it's manageable. So now that's your 4 assessment tasks. About your lecturer, that's just telling you how good I am and how smart I am. Whether I am or whether or not, it's open to discussion. I use self-appraisal. It's always worked for me. And then down here we click on, and this will take us to week 1, introduction. That's a PowerPoint, there's a lecture notes. The reading text, there's a link there, a tutorial activity. This is all for the face-to-face. You guys can go in and have a look on it. If we click on that, valid parameters. Oh, that's really good. Okay, I'll have to look and fix that. Well, I'm glad I checked that. Okay, tutorial activity. We're looking at how China trains its Olympic gymnasts. Okay, so that should be up there, and that's just a bit of information for you. Now, again, you're talking about how do I find these articles? I've got this, put this up there for you, okay? If we click on that, yes, okay, that's me, just let it in. And I've put this up to pretty much give you a point-by-point description. It's simple. You go to the ACPE website, start point, you go onto the library page to look for your electronic databases. When you look at it on the library page on the right side, you'll sit there and see it says quick links. Click on quick links, it'll come up. At the top, you'll have Primo search. Just hit that, it'll search all database for you. You then go into the advanced search. Again, click on the button. It's got any field. In that any field, you're going to put your keywords, the words that are going to identify what you're looking for. Material type. Find where it says material type, put journal article. That way it eliminates you having to sort through what's a newspaper article, what's a TV program, what's a journal article, what's a textbook. It's just going to save you searching. Okay, guys. The keyword search, identifying the words sport, population. It's not a case of if you're doing train to win, merely putting train to win. Yes, it's going to work. You might have to tinker with it better. You might have to look at elite athletes, professional athletes. Might have to look at psychological profiles, training profiles. So that'll be a bit of tinkering around to look for a trial and error. Once you get your search titles, hopefully you won't be, oh, by the way, yes, 2010, sorry, is that just to cut it because I don't want old journals. If they're more than 5 or 6 years old, you're going to start running into problems. Okay, try to think of having them within 5 years. Search titles. Have a look at the titles. Hopefully the titles will tell you whether or not it's an acceptable program or an acceptable article. Have a quick look. Yep, okay, no. Rehab, yeah, probably not. Yes, it will. No, it won't. If you find ones and mark them, yeah, you know what, that's not too bad. That might be. You then open it and read the abstracts. And that will let you know. If you go, yep, this one's working, boom, download it, full text and save. Then you've got your articles to begin your writing. If you find afterwards you've only found 5 and you need to find more, you need to go back into your keyword search and change the words. Sometimes if you go through that textbook, look at some of the journal articles that are in the textbook that they've used in writing the textbook, and they will help pinpoint you. If you get those articles, you can have a look, and they will probably provide you with keywords that you can search to help narrow your search. Okay, guys, make use of that. The searching can take long. It's quite long. So, you know, when you're sitting there watching the footy on a Friday night, do your searching then this week. Additional readings. There's some more readings if you want to get further into it. I'll put it up there. I'll tell you to read it, but I know no one will. But we can merely lead you to water, but we're not allowed to hold your head under until you drink. Okay. So that's about it. That's the introduction. Again, I will send you out an email and try to give you a call over the next couple of days, or being week 1, just to contact, find out how you're going and what's your best process. I may have to speak to 1 or 2 of you, particularly with what you've got in the next couple of weeks and how we're best going to manage your requirements for Rio and what your requirements are for the course, okay? Don't let it overly concern you. We will allow you extenuating circumstances and all this stuff, especially if you win a gold medal. No gold medal, don't care. Yes, no, I'm not that harsh. All right, guys, let's see if I can get back here and, oops, I'm lost again. Where am I? Here we go, and stop sharing now. Your screen sharing, stop. And here I'm back again. Okay, guys. Yeah, for those who haven't had me before, I do think I'm funny. I do think I'm hilarious. Hopefully I'll make it a little bit more interesting for you than just sitting here and putting you to sleep. Okay, guys, we'll see you throughout. over the next few weeks, feel free to give me a call at any time. Look at those lectures, especially the lectures on week 1. All my contact details are on that first one for you. All right, guys, we'll be in touch. Feel free to call me anytime. If you get my voicemail, just leave a message. I will listen to it, and it'll let me know how urgently I have to get back to you or whether I'll go have a coffee. All right, guys, good luck with the next 12 weeks. Yeah, I look forward to our little chats along the way and reading all your exceptionally high quality of work. All right, guys, all the best, and we'll see you soon.